As for Anthony Albanese, he has just arrived back here in Canberra. He spent the night at Kirribilli. He's now back arriving here as the C1, arriving on a beautiful Canberra day, back at the Lodge, the first time the Prime Minister has been back there since winning this re-election. We're expecting him then to return here to Parliament House. It's back to business for a re-elected Prime Minister who now has a thumping majority in the lower house and likely will only need to rely on the Greens in the Senate to get legislation through. That makes it much easier for Labor to get through its agenda. Things like the stalled superannuation changes now likely to be able to get through. Anthony Albanese was on Triple M this morning speaking about the election victory and saying it was astonishing in terms of not only winning a second term but picking up more seats.
It was an enormous victory, really, historically. Governments don't go forwards in their re-election bid. 2010, Labor went backwards. Howard went backwards in 98. Hawke went backwards in 84. That's just the way that it works. It was quite an astonishing outcome.
Labor has been asked, naturally, given the expanded mandate it has now, given more seats in the House, it has won more senators as well, does it plan to expand its policy ambition? The Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, acknowledged on Saturday night after seeing the Prime Minister's speech that there is a level of impatience about the need for reform in Australia. But pretty clear from the Deputy Prime Minister this morning, they took a clear agenda to this election and that's what they'll be implementing in this second term.
Not about to change things because of the number of Labor MPs that were elected on Saturday night. There's a fundamental contract, in a sense, with the Australian people, which is what we put forward and what we said we'd do and what we said we wouldn't do. And that's what we will go about, and nothing there changes.
We always spoke, Kieran, about whether there would be the first trip pretty quickly after a re-elected Albanese government back to Washington. The Prime Minister was asked about that yesterday when we were at that cafe in Leichhardt. Didn't want to get into that, but you can imagine now, given he would have seen these comments from Donald Trump, a lot of love there, it seems, at least publicly. So a trip, you would imagine, has to be on the cards pretty soon. Does he bring Richard Marles, the Deputy Prime Minister, with him? It's not the usual practice, but we do know the President loves golf. And we know Richard Marles is pretty handy.
Yeah, he's pretty handy. He plays off a handicap of 6, I think. But, so he knows his way around the golf course.
You know that.
But he should take him with him, absolutely, because you've got to think outside the box when you're dealing with Trump. And I think Marles has that ability, like Albanese does, to win him over. You're not going to see some Zelensky moment when they go in. He knows how to deal with characters like that, Anthony Albanese, no problem at all.
And one other thing I'd just point out, that this morning the Prime Minister had a phone call with the new Canadian Prime Minister, Mark Carney. That was slated for 9 a.m. That was interesting for the two of them to be able to compare notes, because Mark Carney's, I think, about to go to Washington in the next couple of days to speak to Donald Trump face-to-face. We've seen a real similarity in the two results there. They went so hard, Donald Trump did, after Trudeau. Then we see the re-election of that Canadian government. Over here, how much Trump has dominated in our campaign, Kieran, and Albanese goes on to get the thumping victory.
Yep, it's thumping, that's for sure. Trudy, thank you. Great to chat.